Today, we've got a hot topic that's been making waves in the world of finance and global trade. China has been in the news with their recent moves to challenge the US dollar's supremacy. In today's video, we'll dive into the three things you need to know about China's strategic moves and give you three essential tips to help you prepare for what's coming. Let's take a quick look at some of the recent topics in the news. In the past few weeks, China has been making headlines with its game-changing deals, shifting to trade in its own currency rather than the US dollar. Saudi Arabia has joined forces with China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and four Central Asian nations in a groundbreaking trade alliance called BRICS. China and France have completed their first gas trade using the Chinese CBDC, the digital yuan. China has entered into agreements with Saudi Arabia to trade oil in Chinese yuan, igniting concerns of the petrodollar's possible collapse. As the world watches nervously, the US dollar's reign as the global reserve currency is being threatened right before our eyes. Why is the dollar's status a big deal? The US dollar's dominance is what maintains America's influence in the global economy. But what does all this mean for you? And how can you stay ahead of the coming events? You won't want to miss this. Hey guys, it's Bruce. Welcome back to Money Map. Today, we're diving into the current global currency situation. It would take thousands of hours of YouTube videos and books to get all the details and history of what's going on. Luckily, today we'll give you the basics you need to know about China, BRICS, and the petrodollar in only a few minutes. Most importantly, we'll give you what you need to do about it all. Let's jump in and see what's happening in the world of money. What is BRICS? BRICS is one of the most intriguing developments in global finance. If you're not familiar with this acronym, let's break it down for you. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These five powerhouse nations have come together to challenge the US dollar's long-held position as the world's reserve currency. So why is the formation of BRICS such a game changer? These countries represent a significant part of the global economy, with their combined GDP accounting for roughly 20% of the world's economy. Their economies have been growing, and they are becoming influential players on the world stage. By banding together, they're able to create a force that could shift the balance of global economic power. China's role. Now let's focus on China and their moves to strengthen their currency as an alternative to the US dollar in international trade. This initiative is seen as an effort to challenge the US dollar's long-standing dominance as the world reserve currency. So what exactly is China doing to undermine the US dollar's supremacy? For starters, they've established an alternative banking communication system called CIPS, Cross-Border Interbank Payment System. This move allows China to bypass the US-dominated SWIFT system. This allows China the ability to directly settle financial transactions in their currency. China has also been forming strategic partnerships with countries like Saudi Arabia and France. These alliances allow the use of their currency in global trade, particularly for buying and selling oil, further chipping away at the dollar's strength. As China continues to make these calculated moves, we have to wonder, are we witnessing the beginning of the end of US global power? As America's influence declines, we could be on the cusp of a major shift in the balance of economic and political power across the globe. What is the petrodollar? Now let's turn our attention to Saudi Arabia and the petrodollar. The petrodollar is just another way of saying the world uses US dollars to buy and sell oil. As the world's largest oil exporter, if Saudi Arabia sells all its oil in dollars, it means that the whole world has to use US dollars if they want oil. Recent events suggest that they are starting to shift away from the US petrodollar, and that could shake things up on the global stage. Why does Saudi Arabia's move matter so much? It is because they are the biggest oil producer outside of the US. So any decision to abandon the petrodollar would have far-reaching consequences for the US dollar's position as the world reserve currency. With these definitions and context in place, let's turn to what you can do about this. Stay informed. As we navigate these turbulent times in the world of global finance, it's more important than ever to stay informed about the potential changes in the world reserve currency. These shifts are not static events, they're evolving, and the answers we have today may not be the same as last year or even next month. One way to stay informed is by subscribing to channels like ours, where we aim to give you advice from the best minds in money. But don't stop there. Diversify your sources of information and explore other news outlets and experts. It takes some work to get a well-rounded understanding of the global economic environment. Buy real assets. Often the first advice you hear when talking about the dollar's status and inflation is to buy real assets. But what does this mean, and what are real assets? Why do real assets do better when a currency shifts? Let's break it down. Here's 3 real assets you can buy. 1. Real estate. Currency changes and inflation often leads to rising prices for goods and services, including property values. As the cost of living increases, real estate prices rise as well. Additionally, rental real estate can provide a steady stream of rental income, which can help protect against the eroding effects of inflation on your purchasing power. 2. Businesses. Owning a business can be a solid hedge against inflation, as businesses can typically adjust their prices to keep up with increasing costs. This ability to adapt to changing economic conditions allows businesses to maintain their profitability and potentially even grow during inflationary periods. 3. Gold and silver. These precious metals have long been considered reliable stores of value and safe havens during economic uncertainty. In times of inflation, investors often turn to gold and silver as a means of preserving their wealth. As the demand for these metals increases, so too does their value. Investing in real assets during inflation and shifts in the world reserve currency can be a wise move for several reasons. Not only do these assets offer a level of protection against the devaluation of your money, but 2 of them can provide you with monthly cash flow. By understanding these dynamics, you are now better equipped to make smart decisions in our ever-changing global economy. Invest in yourself. As world events change and the world reserve currency evolves, it's crucial to invest in your skills. By doing so, you become more valuable and capable of earning money in any situation and any form of currency. Learning new skills not only helps you adapt to changes, but also opens up new opportunities for growth and success. There's a wise saying, "See the world as it really is, but not worse than it is." In other words, it's essential to stay informed about what's happening globally, but also to maintain a positive outlook and focus on what you can control, like investing in yourself. As you learn new skills, expand your knowledge, and become the best version of yourself, you'll find that you're better equipped to navigate the ever-changing world and thrive no matter what currency dominates the global economy. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed these ideas and found value in them, please give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more expert guidance and practical tips from the best minds in money.